Hey yo, what's poppin'? What's poppin' with this one? Peace, peace, blessings, blessings, peace. Act accordingly, and all that good stuff like that. So the other day, a couple days ago, I had put up a post, right? What this post was pertaining to was basically how can someone who doesn't have kids, children, or who hasn't had that experience of raising children, give advice to those who have or either are in the middle of raising kids. Like, how can anyone say anything to? And I'm somebody who doesn't have kids, you understand? But even I understand that. I would never sit there and try to give advice to someone about raising their kid. It doesn't make sense. There's no value I can offer. There's no value in the advice I give. I don't know what it's like to raise a boy to a man or a girl to a woman. I have no damn clue. You understand? It's just, it doesn't seem logical to even be able to think you could do that. But I do feel, and I should have added this, there's one exception. And I'm speaking from experience on this one, right? The only way anyone can say anything to someone else about what their kids are doing is if it affects what they got going on. Because, let's keep it real. Kids can be the reason for their parents either being addressed or the reason their parents addresses another person, like neighbors, for example. You know how many neighbors get into spats and arguments because of the kids doing something that they shouldn't have been doing? That's pretty much the story, the example I'm about to give. A situation that almost went way, way left. And the post I put up had made me think about it. You understand? This is the one exception to saying anything to the next person about what their child does. Anything other than that, it's not my damn business, fam. You understand? Because kids, they can put the parents in a wild position. Kids can be ignorant as hell. You understand? We understand that they're young and their morals and their values are being shaped as they're being raised. Some parents just don't give a damn, and they're not putting pressure on, instilling those values and those morals, right? They just don't care. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. Hell, some parents aren't even in their kids' life. And then you got parents who they come from an era when your moms and your grandmoms, hell, they, as far as discipline, they made your ass go and get what they was finna put on your ass when you acted out. You can tell this is a different era. All you have to do is look around. This is the social media era where it's about doing anything and everything for a moment, right? You don't even hear about people disciplining their kids physically anymore. You got CPS these days. And I'm not saying people should beat their kids. I'm just saying that things have changed point blank, period. You understand? But with that being said, kids get away with a lot of stuff in this era. You understand? Things that we could have never gotten away with. That's the point I'm getting at here. And I have an example. When is the line drawn of what a child, is able to do without you being able to address the parents? Where is the line drawn? I know I'm not the only one who's been at a gas station, a market, a mall. And you see the parents, you got the child, the kid is doing something they got no business doing. Now they could be acting out, or maybe the parents just wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. We don't know. We're not in their business. All we know is we see a child acting out in the store doing something that had it been us when we were little, we definitely would have got checked at the door for. You understand? And we just stuck looking at the parents side-eyed like, so we ain't gonna do nothing about that? You're not gonna handle that at all? Like, right? How many times have we seen that? You understand? But anyway, this is the one exception to being able to address someone about anything pertaining to their kid. Here's an example. Some years ago, right? I was living in a building. It was an apartment building. I had been there for a little bit, and there was some new neighbors who were moving in, and their appearance. How can I describe their appearance without like offending anybody? Because I mean, I do call myself the realist, right? So I guess I gotta just say it for what it is. They was looking trashy, fam. They was looking trashy, and I said, "Oh boy." Right now, if you ever lived in an apartment or you do live in an apartment building, you know that when you have thin walls and you have like families that live over you and they have kids, especially those badass, I can't stand no badass kids. I ain't got no issue with kids, but I'm not very fond of badass kids who lack discipline. I'm not gonna lie, fam. But when you have a family of that has kids and they live over you, that can cause problems right there alone. So when I seen this new family moving in, I said, yeah, it's probably gonna be a moment in time where we, have to have that talk, right? But little did I know that wasn't what I had to worry about. So they move in the building, a little bit of time passes by. They hadn't been there for all that long. I remember this day like it was yesterday, fam. Hot as hell. I think I was in my drawers, cooling off. I had planned on going to the store that day. Store lived only a couple blocks from me. Just remember that part that I tell you, the part where I say I had to go to the store. Because we're going to circle back to that. Plays an important part. Now, I'm chilling. I lived on the first floor where I could look right out my window. Everything is flat. Then you got the stairs leading to the upstairs. There were two other floors. You understand? Right? My window's right there. The stairs right there. Boom. You can see just about everything. I'm on the first floor. I get up, I look outside, and I see a little boy and who was his father with him. The little boy was pissing right outside of my window, fam. And I'm thinking that it was some type of dream or something, like, because I believed I was kind of like out of it. I had to really like get my mind together. Like, am I really seeing this right here? Am I seeing a little boy pee by my window while the father's like holding him, letting him do it? Right? When I tell you, when I tell you I couldn't get my clothes on fast enough, I don't think I could even find a word that would describe the swiftness that it took for that I used to like me getting myself together. I couldn't have done it fast enough. We'll leave it at that. I'm trying to get outside to the door because I'm feeling like it's a blatant thing. Because I'm like, what parent would let their child pee right outside somebody's window like that when you know all they have to do is look out and they can see you? I'm feeling like it's purposeful. I'm feeling like it's blatant disrespect towards me and they meant to be seen. That's how I comprehended this kid doing this. Father, right there. It's one thing when a kid does something when their parents aren't around that they're not supposed to be doing or comes off as ignorant, disrespectful towards other people. But what about when the parent is there with them? Wow. So I get my stuff together. I got one shoe on, one shoe off. I get to the door. The kid and the father, they're going upstairs. The baby moms is out there. And I'm one of those people, there's no in between. It's either I'm very calm and polite or I'm at a 10 and it's probably going to break the glass. I just see red, blue, green, purple, pink, all of that. You understand? I'm a very short tempered person, you know? So, especially when I'm being disrespected or when I feel I'm being disrespected purposely. But anyway, I go outside, open the door, barely outside, and I'm like, are you kidding me? You're really gonna let your kid pee right out there where I can see? Are you out your mind? Is what I'm saying all this stuff to her. And she's looking at me like I'm crazy. But then she says, oh, he He had to go to the bathroom. We didn't know if he was gonna make it. We didn't want him to pee on himself. That was her reasoning, y'all. Her reasoning for letting that boy pee outside where I look at, outside of where I lay my head, is because they thought he was going to pee on himself. Does anybody hear anything wrong with that? Had it been my child, either one or two things, he's going to make it upstairs or he's going to pee on himself. We'll clean it up later. But I'm not going to take you to pee right by somebody's window. You would like to think that that parents have more sense than that, but some parents really just, they're not there. And it's like, damn, son, it's scary that some people can even be parents. They say the kids are our future. That's what they always said, right? But I guess they never said if the future was going to be good or bad, because goddamn. So anyway, she's like, yeah, he's just a kid. They use that phrase that they always use when they're being addressed about something that their kid did. When they can't find any other reason to justify it, they say they're just a kid, which I understood, right? Because as a kid, in his mind, it's okay to do that. It's not his fault. As a child, that's completely normal. But see, the parent is a different story because the parent are responsible for teaching the kid what's right and what's wrong. Teach them what to do and damn sure what not to do. Right? I would have never let my kid do something like that. Disrespect another person who pays rent just like you, to waste, just let himself go right in front of their window like that. I felt like it was I felt like it was just genuine disrespect on their part towards me. I felt like it was purposeful. So, being the person that I am, when I reached that point, I think I was looking for the baby father because this was the baby mother. There's not too much I can do but say what I had to say. And I'm like, where's he at? I will beat, I think I said a few things like that. I want to put hands on the baby father for letting his kid do that. I was in a rage. I was in a damn rage. I wanted to smoke with this man. What would make this man think something like that was okay? Both of them are to blame, but I can only address the baby mother but so much, and damn sure can't really do anything or address the kid. So my focus went towards the father, right? He had went upstairs and she was out there. She gets on the phone. I come back inside, boom, get myself together. Mind you, I said I was going to the store now, right? This is when the store comes into play. A couple blocks away at that time. I go back out. She's on the phone. And automatically I figure, oh, she's calling somebody, right? This is when the situation started to get a little more, you understand? I wasn't really paying attention to what she was saying on the phone or anything. But I leave. Boom, I'm walking a couple blocks to the store. Look back. Old girl is following me in her car. At first I thought I was tripping. But the more I walked, I looked back. It only took like a minute for me to understand. You understand? Within a minute's time, I understood, okay, this girl is following me. So I stopped. I walk up to her car. I'm like, oh, girl, are you following me? She said something like, don't worry about it. And I heard her say on the phone, something like, oh, he's right here. I'm right here with him. So she's tracking me while she's on the phone, basically called somebody to meet her. She plans on following me to my location. And whoever she's on the phone with, she's telling them to meet her there. So I'm thinking, oh, so you plan on getting me jumped or something, right? And I'm thinking, is that serious? Because I didn't put hands on your baby father yet. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm thinking. But it's hot. It was a hot ass day. So I'm like, whatever gonna happen is my mindset. I just kept on walking, fam. Get to the store finally, go in there, get what I get. I look out the window of the store through the door. Like I got the glass doors at the bodegas, right? She's out there. She's outside. She's on the phone. I'm paying for my stuff, and I'm saying to myself in my head, no matter what happens after I go outside, it's just gonna happen, right? But it's like it's so damn hot today that I don't want to be brawling in the street with nobody. So I'm gonna hurt whoever quick and fast so I can get back to the house and get to the air. This is what I'm thinking, right? So I go outside. She don't really say too much. I cross the street, boom, I go up. I see a Jeep pull up, right? Because I'm looking back at the same time. You're from the streets and shit, and you think somebody might be trying to cause you harm, you're gonna check your surroundings. And yeah, got nothing to do with being scared. If you come from the hood, the projects, the street, you already know. I look back, I see a Jeep pull up. I'm not really staring too much into the Jeep because it's still kind of far back from where I'm at. There's a great distance of where they're at, where I'm at this point. I'm up the street. I keep walking. I hear a, hey, yo, something like that. I look back, it's an old woman. I'm like, who the hell is this? I figured this must be her mom. This is her mother, the baby mom's mother. She was on the phone with her mother. I'm like, okay, what is this going to turn into? I'm expecting some Negroes to pull up. You know what I mean? Some youngins. That's what I prepared myself for. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me go back, talk to him. We'll straighten this thing out. I walk back. The woman asks me, did you threaten my daughter and my grandkid? This is what she asks me. Before I can even get the words out, because in my head, I'm like, no, I didn't threaten her or the kid. I said I want to smoke with the baby father. That I definitely stood on, but I didn't get a chance to even say it before she threatened me and said, I got something for you. I got something for you. Right? Now, you know how people are quiet, don't really have too much to say. But when they get around someone they're close with, that's when they turn up. That's what the baby moms did. When the moms was there, that's when she started to turn up a little bit. And she was saying all type of stuff. And she was like the mother was trying to get her like calm down and shit. And she's like, yo, we gotta live there. We gotta live in the same building. And that's what I'm saying to her exactly. That's why I reacted the way I did. Cause we gotta live there. And I'm surprised you would let your kid do some shit like that. And I said, I finally had the chance to say I didn't threaten your daughter. I didn't threaten the kid. I was looking for the baby father. I don't threaten kids, is what I said. Now, even though they calmed down, and I feel like they understood because it was like a relief on their part. It was like, oh, so he's not threatening, my daughter and my grandchild. But it was like a relief on her part. But I'm pretty sure they still felt like didn't necessarily care for me threatening the baby father because that's the kid's father, you know what I'm saying? But I stood on that. I said, no, I want to whip his ass because that's how I felt disrespected as hell. I wanted smoke with him. Can't address the kid, the baby mamas, but bring that fool outside. Huh? He wasn't with her when she followed me to the store either. That's where I was at with it. At that point, I had calmed down, didn't really care to fight. But if I had ran into him, it definitely would have been what the hell ever because I'm the one who been disrespected. You understand? So the woman's end up telling me, you don't say anything to them or whatever the case is. And I say, as long as he don't piss outside my window again, he can't do that again. He ain't never doing that again. This is what I'm saying. I don't care how you feel about it. That kid is not pissing outside of my window where I can look outside, right where I lay my damn head at. We'll have a problem every time if you think that, right? And we kind of like left it off as that. In conclusion, the kid never pissed outside of my window again. You know what I'm saying? This was some years ago that had happened. You understand? Um, but yeah, when on hindsight, I understand that maybe I could have jumped out the window a little bit as far as threatening the baby father. You understand? But I felt like these people blatantly disrespecting me. I felt like it was purposeful because I couldn't understand how could you ever think it's okay to let your kid do such a thing. And there are parents who do let their kids get away with murder. If they could, they would absolutely let them murder someone, and they would help hide the body. You understand? Which you're supposed to ride for your kids. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I get it. But from the perspective of the person who was disrespected, I don't tolerate disrespect. You understand me? Kid, woman, man, he, she, gay man, dog, cat, squirrel, raccoon, I don't give a damn. Disrespect in the least will be addressed. And that's all that was. You understand? If it would have never happened, I would have never reacted that way. I would have never threatened to put hands on that man. You understand? They understood where I was. Obviously, they did. We never got along after that, which was fine with me. You stay in your lane, I stay in mine. Just keep your kid from disrespecting me is all I'm saying. So many situations where kids have been the object, like the object of the reason, like the cause for it. You understand? Another like example is a situation that was way worse than this. It was actually a headline story. It was an article and everything, right? And this just goes back to everything that kids do leads back to their parents, right? In this story, I felt the same way, and I felt like it would not have happened if the parents would have monitored their kids a little bit better. So there was a situation that happened. I forget what city, what state, but it was in the wintertime. And what's that game we used to play as kids? Ding Dong Ditch? That shit sounds stupid as hell, just that name. But I think that was the name. I think there was another name too. Ring the bell, run to the next house, or whatever the case, right? We would do that. I think we all did that. There was a situation with some kids, they were playing outside and they were ringing uh man's this specific house's doorbell of where this old man had lived. And I remember the old man said that he had a wife and the wife wasn't there, I guess. So this is an older man now. I want to say 60, 70, something like that, by himself, right? Kids, they were targeting this house specifically. Maybe they figured, oh, this is old man Sherman. He never comes out. We can play with him, we can, play on his door all we want, right? So they were ringing the bell, ringing it, playing with this man doorbell. The man said, and after the situation, he told people that he was scared, he was nervous, he thought somebody was trying to come in his house. His mindset was, if it's not my wife coming in with the key, then who's that playing on my door? An elderly person. Now, at a certain age, you don't comprehend certain situations or think them out the same as you would at a younger age. And that's not, that's respectfully. You understand? You ain't playing no games or taking no chances. When you're an elderly person, you're there by yourself or somebody playing with your door and stuff like that, right? There were two kids there playing with this dude's doorbell. What do you think this old man did? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds for you to take a guess. This man went and got his gun. He went and got his shit. Yeah. He went to the door and he started to fire off at the kids. Now, I forget if either both of them had gotten shot and one died and one lived, or if just one had gotten shot and the other one was unscathed. But I believe, if anything, I'm trying to think as hard as I can back to exactly the outcome. There was a kid, one of them had gotten shot. I just can't remember if he died or not. But anyway, trial and all that happens. I remember I did a video on this at the time, a couple years ago. The old man ended up getting a certain amount of time, right? And people were debating back and forth on if the man deserved the amount of time he had gotten for this kid being shot. Now, I was one of the people who felt he shouldn't have gotten as much time because I looked at it like this. And I actually, when somebody tried to go back and forth with me on this in my comments, I remember it. They thought I was trying to say, oh, that's good for the kid for getting shot. That's not at all what I was saying. I was simply saying this. I put myself in the perspective of that man who was in his house. A man's home is his castle, they say, right? By himself, his property, right? And you got some random kids playing with you at your door. You might not necessarily understand what's going on. And that's the thing, I'll never know, right? No matter what the old man said, because I believe that played a part in why he got the time he got. It probably came down to them trying to understand, did the man understand that they were playing a game? Or did he really think that they were trying, that it could have been a robber that was trying to get in his house? Right? I wasn't there at the trial, so I don't know if all this was said. But anyway, I felt like the old man shouldn't have gotten as much time because it was like self-defense. It's his property. They had no business doing it. And if anything, I feel like the parents are to blame for the situation. When we were all younger, we all went outside and played, wandered off, did things we had no business doing. Sometimes we would get caught, sometimes not. You know, it's sad that the little boys in this case ended up getting shot. But my thing was, where were their parents at? You understand? No, parents aren't going to be there every second. When they're at a certain age to go outside and, they can walk by themselves, they can travel certain distances by themselves. You can't keep tabs on every little thing that they do. I get that. But that's not the old man's fault. That man thought that it was somebody trying to come in his house. At least that's what he said. Do you believe the old man? It came down to people was like, yo, these kids were just playing the game. They didn't deserve that. And anybody else, including me, felt like, well, the old man, what if he didn't know that? What if he really didn't understand that? What if he really thought somebody, if it wasn't his wife or the mailman, he like anybody else at my door, let me go get my stuff. Now, as an elderly person, you can overreact in a situation like that. You understand? But I feel like most people would have definitely went and got their protection when you're not expecting company at your door. If it's not the mailman, the person who lives with you, somebody, who called and told you they're on the way, and they're so aggressive at your door, your instinct is to definitely grab your protection and address the situation with a certain a certain caution, right? And sadly, one of the little boys, from what I remember, again, had gotten shot. Was the old man, who's to blame in the situation is what I'm saying. The kids for playing the game with the old man because maybe they figured, oh, he's not going to do nothing. This is what I'm thinking. Because when we was kids, I think we all probably knew that elderly person in the neighborhood was like, oh, they grumpy, they ain't gonna do nothing. We'll just mess with them. I think we all did that. You understand? But we just didn't get shot. They did in this case. That's they were playing the game, a friendly game, supposedly. You understand? But the old man might not have understood that. You understand? Was it the kid's fault for doing that, playing that game, playing with that man's doorbell, playing with his door like that? Was it his fault for not like analyzing the situation before he started to let off his gun? Or was it the parents' fault for not knowing where the kids went and monitoring what they were doing? And I'm going to say the parents every time. So again, I'm going to lead off like this. What kids do, everything that a child does, besides them, even when they're a teenager, if they're not 18, everything that a kid does, when they break in somewhere, they get caught stealing or something like that, who gets called? The parents. Everything a kid does leads back to the parents. And in some cases, the kid was doing whatever they wanted to do. And a parent can only raise a kid to the best of their abilities. You can't stop them from doing every little thing. But there are some cases where the parents just completely lacked in teaching their kids what was right or wrong. And not only do they show signs of it at a young age, but then you know the stories. I'm sure we all know someone we grew up with who was a nice kid at first, but then later on in life they got locked the hell up. I know I do. So shout out to the parents that put the pressure on, and they make sure they instill those morals and those values. You know, I don't consider this story me like preaching about how people should raise their kids or anything like that. I'm just saying what kids do can affect other people. And when it affects other people, that's when you have to question the parents, and that's when it comes back to the parents. That's all I was saying. You understand? But shout out to the real parents, mothers and fathers, because you know mamas be holding it down for the daddy side too. You know what I mean? Praise to all the single mothers and stuff like that. And to the kids that's out here wilding, because we are in a different era. You understand where things have changed, man. Things have changed. People don't, you know, not that I'm saying people should, but there's some kids who seem like they only understand that form of discipline when they just waxing at it. You understand? You don't hear too much of that these days. People call CPS on that ass. You understand? But even then, some people don't care. You understand? Some people figure, go ahead. By the time you dial that P, I already done with that. You understand? But that y'all leave your comments, man. Y'all leave your comments and your thoughts. Well, just want to hit the like, share out if you choose. Peace, blessings, peace, and like I always say, act accordingly, man. I'm gone.